Now today what I'm going to do is make a little diorama of some fish and some rock and some stones in this bag mould. I'm going to be using the T-Expert deep pour resin for this, which is this one. It's a 2-to-1 resin, works really well and cures lovely and clear. Although, honestly, I actually don't mind if there is a few bubbles in this, but there probably won't be because it's going to have the fish in it. Now I'm going to make my fish first, let them cure up, and then I'm going to show you how I suspend something. This is a rock mould that I made a long time ago. Really easy to make, and I'll link the video of how I made this in the description and in the card at the end. Well, I've mixed up 2 different colours of mica powder here, and what I'm doing is I'm just dobbing this around in these moulds so I get a mottled effect and not just a one colour effect, and it does look really good on the actual fish when they come out. Now for the rock, I need this to be transparent, as I said, because I want the light to be able to shine through this. So I've just used a normal transparent resin pigment, not an alcohol ink. Poured that in there, and now I'm going to let it cure. Well, these pieces have all cured now, and I've also made some seaweedy bits as well. They just need tidying up and getting rid of some of this over pour that I did, but that's not a problem. That should just peel off because it's so thin. I'm loving the way that they've come out. They're so cute. I do love this fish mould, and I think they look really pretty. So it's all about, oh, let's do this bit. This is the rock for the bottom. That's got to go there. So now I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach everything to here. And this will be the last bit in. Remember, we're working upside down because when you finish, that mould needs to come out that way up. So you need to put the fish in so that they look like they're swimming the right way up. I'm going to suspend this bit in there at the end. And I'm going to attach some of these vines to this before I put that in. Now, I don't want too big a bits, so I'm going to break them up a little bit before I put them on. So I'm going to have a bit like there. And all I'm going to use for that is some 5-minute epoxy. And this will dry lovely and clear. Love 5-minute epoxy. All you need is equal amounts. I always do it on my mat because it just peels off so simply. So you just need equal amounts of part A and part B. Give it a mix. Don't mix it overly rapid or too much. You don't want to make it too many bubbles in it. As long as you've got a good mix on it, then you'll be fine. And then I'm going to poke a bit in there like that, and then add that to it and let it dry. And then once it's dry, that isn't going to go anywhere from there. That will stay on there like that. And I can do the same here with a bit of this and hold that on there like that. Now, if you don't have any 5-minute epoxy resin, you can always use UV resin, and that will probably do the same sort of thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish this off, and then I'll show you what the next stage is. I've decided not to put any stones or the other thing on it. I'm just going for the little plant fronds, and I like that. And now it's time to set up the goldfish. I want them all to float at slightly different angles, and I'm going to connect some clear thread to them. This one I've done in the middle, this one I've done more towards the tail, and this one I'm going to do more towards the head. And hopefully that's going to allow them to be suspended at different angles so they're not all uniform. And I'm using just a little pin vise drill here, going in a little bit. And this is to enable me to set in that clear thread. Get rid of any of the dust. And then I'm using some nylon thread here. And this is beading thread. And this just virtually disappears when it's actually used in resin, which is great. And I'm going to glue that end in that little hole there that I've made. Goes in about 3 mil. And I'm going to glue that end in there using 5-minute epoxy again, because it will give a great seal. And then I'll attach it to this, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Well, now I've got my thread all glued into there, I can see how they're going to hang. And they're going to hang really just how I want them to hang, which is great. And what I need to do is pop these in here and make a decision on how deep I want them to go before I cut this off, cut this thread off. So I want that one to go right to the bottom. So I'm going to cut this off there and then lift it out and then cut a bit more off it because I need to attach it to this. And I've done exactly the same here. I've drilled some little holes, and what I'm going to do is glue these ends into here like that, so it suspends well from there. It will suspend like that, so when it's up the right way, everything will hang the right way. So we've got them all different lengths. I just pop a bit of the 5-minute epoxy into those holes again, and then glue those pieces in. Now I'm using the J. Dixon Deep Pour epoxy resin here. I use this one or the T-Expert one because they both work phenomenally well. And to be honest, I go for whichever one is the cheapest. I've got the best discount at the time. Now I'm pouring this in here, making sure it's only about a third of the way up. A huge thank you to all my members whose names are coming up now. The membership has grown really well. We have some great time in there. We share, we laugh, we help each other, and we have live streams and different things going on in there as well. So if you want to become a member, check it out in the description below. So I'm now filling this up a little bit further as I've squidgy-widgied the bubbles at the bottom, and I'm suspending my koi fish in it like this. I've used the blue tack to ensure that it sticks to the stick, and now I'm just giving it a bit of a tap, topping it up a little bit and letting it cure. This is all cured up now. It took about 2 days to cure up, just over, because it's quite cold here in the UK. Now, I didn't put it in my pressure pot because I wanted to make sure or try and get some bubbles in it. And that's why I used the pipette around here to squeeze in some bubbles around the rock and different bits and pieces. But who knows if any bubbles have come out. Now it's a case of removing your blue tack or whatever you've used to stick this to. Now, if any resin's got over this, then it will still come off. It just means you need to pull it out. And like I said, it's quite cold in here today, so it's stuck on there really well. So I'm going to remove that. If you've got any residue left over, just go over it with a little bit of alcohol. It will come straight off, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. This is all cleaned up. It didn't take too long to clean it up. Just a little bit of alcohol for any of the bits that didn't come off. Now, as you can see, I have under-poured this purposely, and the reason I did that is so I can put a sandy bottom in. I've got 2 sands here. I've got a very fine white sand and what I would call a normal sand, and I'm going to mix up some of this together because I want it to have kind of a different texture to it. I don't know why, I just do. I've got an old yogurt pot here, and I'm just going to give that a mix round in there. I just think it looks nicer than just all one colour. Now, I'm not yet adding any mica powders or any colours to this whatsoever. All I'm going to do is add some resin. And I'm going to use the quick cure resin because I only want to fill this up level with the bottom of this stone, and you'll see why in a second. So I've got my sand in an old yogurt pot. Now I'm turning this into a paste, so I've used quite a lot of sand in comparison to the resin. That's not a problem. It will still cure lovely. Huge thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. Without you guys, I know times are difficult, but it really does help support my channel and allows me to buy all the different bits and pieces I use in this video. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook and Instagram now. I'm on Instagram. So I've pushed that through, wiping it up, tapping it down so it settles and letting it cure. Well, this is all cured up now. I'm really excited to see if it's come out nice and whether there's any bubbles in it. It's going to be an interesting one. So all I need to do now is pull off this outer mould. Now, when you get down to the bottom bit of this particular mould, it can be a little bit more difficult to get it off. But don't worry about that. Just pull it down like that. Get to there. And then this is where you need to be a little bit more gentle and just pull it out from one edge. And there we go. Oh, look at that. That has worked. I have got bubbles in it. Few bubbles in the top as well. Oh, I'm loving that. And the goldfish have come out really well. Now, the proof is going to be in the pudding is if it's going to light up. And it should light up because we've got that clear in it. Oh, it does. I'm so pleased with that. Let me turn some lights off in here. There we go. That has lit up really well. Oh, I'm so pleased I managed to keep some bubbles in it. But look how beautiful and clear it is everywhere else. It's only where I did the pipette in with it. And those fish have come out really well in there. You would never know they've been suspended using any nylon or anything. You just cannot see it. It disappears completely in there. Please boot that like button if you've enjoyed this video. I have enjoyed it a great deal. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. There's a video coming up now that I really recommend that you watch as well if you're thinking about making jewellery or getting into resin as a way of having a little bit of a side hustle. So enjoy that. Click on that. Take care. Enjoy your resin. Bye.